was having a conversation with a friend of mine about men's mental health, and it got deep enough to the point where I was just like, this should be a video. He asked me what I thought the main issue was with men's mental health, like why men's mental health was in such turmoil, or why there was such a big issue with men's mental health. Which I replied, that's a really difficult question to answer. But he was looking for a way to like consolidate like down to a point the issue with men's mental health. And while that might not necessarily be a realistic thing to try to do, I did still give him an answer. I said, if you were forced to boil it down to a single point, it would be a lack of empathy. So empathy is taught. We're not born with empathy, we learn it. We're born hitting stuff and biting stuff and hitting people and biting people. We just, because we're babies, we don't know what you can and can't do. At some point, you figure out that you don't like it when you get hit or bitten or whatever. And ideally, someone either teaches you or you learn on your own that the same way you don't like being hit, other people don't like being hit. And that's usually our first step towards empathy. Empathy and the idea of considering the way that other people feel isn't taught to boys to nearly the same degree that it's taught to women. I think that the result of that is that there's a lot of guys who don't give a shit how other people feel about stuff. That's how trolls happen. That's how you see guys like getting exasperated because they're listening to their girlfriend talk about how she feels and they don't give a shit. That's how that happens. It's a lack of empathy from a young age. They're not taught that how other people feel matters. And so as they get older, it just never matters. How does this relate to mental health? Very frequently, the way that men address other men when it comes to problems with mental health is a very dismissive method. Man up. You're gonna cry me a river? Get it done. For so many guys, there's no opening to talk about their issues and things that they're going through, because it sounds like they're crying or being weak, and it's not a good look, so men don't do it. And it can be very damaging to your mental health to be going through a situation, as people do. People go through things, and it can be very damaging if you're going through something and you feel like you can't talk to anybody about it because your friends, the people that you consider your friends, they don't care. They're not trying to hear that. You know what I mean? Obviously, they don't want you to be sad, but they also don't want you like dwelling on your problem and telling them how you feel about things. They might try to help you by distracting you with something else, like, well, let's go play some video games or let's go get a drink or something like that. But they're not trying to actually address the emotional aspect of whatever you're going through. A lot of guys just aren't equipped with that because we're not taught how to do it at a young age. So yeah, as a result, a lot of men feel like nobody cares about the mental struggles that they're going through. Friend asked me, so what are some solutions then to this problem? What do you think? And I thought about it. One thing is allowing boys to express their emotions as children, like express the full range of emotions without punishing them for it or shaming them for it. Let them feel things other than anger without being called weak or a girl or something like that. And he asked me, well, don't you think that that would make weak men? And so I asked him, well, what does weak mean to you? Like, what do you think weak means? Because I knew he didn't mean like muscles. Like, you can have muscles and also have emotions. And then he thought about it. And then he re-asked the question. He said, don't you think that that would make more emotional men? And I said, hopefully. Because we already have emotional men. It's just that their primary emotion is anger. That's the only one that gets out. But I said, yes, hopefully we do have more emotional men. And then he thought about it and he said, oh, but if they know how to regulate it, then it's okay. And I'm like, exactly. Learning emotional intelligence, learning emotional regulation, then you don't have so many problems with emotion, which would be a huge plus for men's mental health. He said, okay, what's another solution? And I said, support systems. I think that men need more support systems. And when I say support systems, I mean people, like friends, family, a therapist, people who can help them navigate the world when things are difficult. The people who celebrate your wins with you, the people who shoulder your pain when you are down, the people who support you, that system. There's so many men who are missing that, and they might have friends, but those friends are so surface level they don't reach that point to where, like, if I'm in my lowest day and I need you, you're there. And he said, so like, if I'm crying and like I need a hug and I go to hug you, are you would you hug me? And I'm like, of course, like, of course, why wouldn't I? Of course. And he paused, like he thought it was weird, and I'm like, do you see how weird you think this is? Like, it's weird that you think that's weird. You know what I mean? My support system's almost all women. If I started crying, if I just broke down or something, I wouldn't even need to ask for a hug. They'd hug me just because. And I think that men need that. I think that so many men try so hard to be the strongest person they can be and try to shoulder everything on their own. And life isn't a single player game, and you're not always winning. Sometimes you need reinforcements. So yeah, those are my thoughts on men's mental health. Not only a huge issue, but also a couple of possible solutions. I know there's plenty more, both issues and solutions, but that's my take on it. I'll see you guys in the next video.